Chapter 11. Be prepared. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Without hesitation, Xiao followed the shop owner to get a bag of saltpeter and left. Back at his carving workshop, he entered his private studio, used a pestle to grind the saltpeter, and sifted it. Okay, ingredients are ready. Xiao took out charcoal and sulfur from a drawer, mixing the three in different proportions. Gunpowder was simple to make in principle, but Xiao didn't know the exact ratios, so he had to experiment. He knew relying solely on his current abilities to venture into the hunting soul forest wasn't safe. His Sharingan had no offensive capabilities yet, and he hadn't tested its illusion on soul beasts. Better safe than sorry. Leaving the busy city, he went to a secluded grove and began his experiments. Puff! Puff! Bang! After several duds, he finally got a reaction. Xiao sped up his work. As dusk settled, a disappointed Xiao headed home. Though his pace was lighter than before, the gunpowder wasn't as powerful as he'd hoped, but volume could make a difference. Even if it was a pain to produce, it would definitely be enough to handle thousand-year soul beasts. Against soul masters, it'd be less useful. Soul masters were smaller and far more mobile than soul beasts, so they'd likely evade the blast. Right now, Xiao's gunpowder was best suited for large-scale fights and dealing with spirit beasts. I'm back. Xiao's voice echoed in Qixia. Xiao Qiu, you're finally back. I was so bored without you. Only Xiao Wu was in Qixia, Tang San was studying with the master, and the others had their own tasks. Almost every day, Xiao Wu waited for Xiao to return. She practically leaped into Xiao's arms, sniffing the air. She said, Xiao Qiu, what's that smell? It's kinda sulfurous. Your clothes and hair are a mess. Cough, cough. She began brushing him off, causing her to cough. Okay. Xiao caught her hand. I need a shower first. How about you grab some grub? No problem, but... She answered, then turned bashful, blushing as she looked at Xiao expectantly. What's up? Xiao asked. I'm broke. Tang San treated me to dinner today. Xiao Wu's resentful gaze made Xiao feel guilty. While she received a gold soul coin each month from the spirit hall, most of it ended up in Xiao's pocket. It was his mistake. He took out his coin purse and handed it to Xiao Wu. Here, take it. If you're still hungry, buy more. Awesome, Xiao Qiu, you're the best. After another hug, she skipped out of the dormitory. Xiao, left behind, muttered to himself, am I the best? What a silly rabbit. Hee. After dinner, Xiao Wu wanted to take Xiao for a walk, but he declined. Come on, Xiao Qiu, I want to show you something cool. What's so cool? Tada. Xiao Wu pulled back her sleeve, revealing a delicate wristband with several sharp, short arrows inlaid around it. A hidden weapon. Xiao's eyes widened. Tang San was already making hidden weapons. Huh? Xiao Qiu, you know what this is? Tang San said it was a secret. Xiao Wu was surprised that Xiao recognized it and wanted to show off. It is his secret. He's the only one who can make them, Xiao explained. Xiao Qiu, you know about hidden weapons? Xiao Wu was hearing the term for the first time, yet Xiao seemed familiar with it. She didn't dwell on it, though. She still wanted to take Xiao for a walk. Let's go. I'll show you what it can do. Wanna? Alright, sure. Then let's go hee. She dragged Xiao out the door. They strolled to a small lake and sat side by side under a tree. Alright, let's see it, Xiao prompted. Why are you in such a rush? Humph, fine, I'll shoot now. Xiao Wu rolled her eyes, thinking he was a real blockhead. Watch out. Before she finished, Xiao Wu aimed her arm at a tree trunk and with a whoosh, the arrows slammed into the wood, sinking in deep. Xiao didn't need to get closer, his Sharingan could see everything clearly. So. Pretty awesome, right? Xiao Wu raised an eyebrow, pleased. Not bad, Yi Qiu nodded. Truthfully, he was a little disappointed, or perhaps his expectations were too high. Machine-type hidden weapons were decent now, but their impact was limited. Later, they would only be useful with poison. Still, hidden weapons were about secrecy and surprise attacks, not fair play. The people of Douluo didn't seem to understand that, which gave Tang San an edge. Can you take it off and let me see it? Even if it wasn't useful later, Yi Qiu still wanted to study it. He had his reasons. Show you. Xiao Wu blinked, rolling her eyes. Can't you? Of course. Of course I can. Xiao Wu said eagerly. She hated turning Yi Qiu down. Flushed, she lowered her head, held out her arm, and said softly, actually, you don't need to take it off. Yi Qiu face-bombed. Did this rascal rabbit always have to flirt so much? Okay, then. Not just as Yi Qiu reached out, she seized his hand, their fingers intertwining, meeting his questioning gaze. Xiao Wu stammered, just look at it like this. It's easier. Ignoring the strange details, Yi Qiu peered at the wristband. His Sharingan activated, the pupil in the center glowed purple, and he analyzed the mechanism. A clever trick. If someone tries to take it apart wrong, it'll self-destruct. But I've seen it clearly. Yi Qiu examined it carefully. Xiao Wu, meanwhile, gazed at Yi Qiu, her crimson eyes locked on him. As if thinking of something, she asked, Xiao Qiu, do you dislike Tang San? What are you talking about? Why would I be into guys? Releasing Xiao Wu's arm, he stared at her with his blood-red, purple eyes. Yi Qiu was taken aback. There was a flash of white in front of him. Xiao Wu also met his gaze, her heart pounding, her face burning. I didn't mean like that. I just meant you don't seem to like him much. Seeing that Yi Qiu didn't respond, Xiao Wu called, Yi Qiu. Huh? Oh. Yi Qiu snapped out of it, shaking his head. The Sharingan deactivated, and he silently recited Ba 3 times, hoping for forgiveness. Chapter 12. The atmosphere is up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu, seeing Yi Qiu like this for the first time, cupped his face in her hands, studying him carefully. What's wrong? Is something the matter? I'm fine, just thinking. Yi Qiu waved it off casually. Xiao Wu was also unsure what had just happened. But Xiao Qiu was so cute just now. Thinking about what she'd done, a little thrill went through her, and her crimson eyes seemed to glaze over with a soft mist. She thought she was getting one over on Yi Qiu and felt smug about it, not realizing he'd already won that round. Yi Qiu quickly changed the subject. Hey, what were you asking me before? I asked if you didn't want to see Tang San. Xiao Wu looked up at him. Being so close, because she'd been holding his face, made her a little dizzy. Am I making it that obvious? Yi Qiu frowned, thinking he was being polite, treating Wang Sheng and Tang San equally. No, it's just me. I see you a lot, and I just sensed it. She looped her arm through his again, nuzzling her head against his shoulder. Only around Yi Qiu did she act like this. Despite calling herself Xiao Wu, she was practically acting like his little wife. Xiao Wu, there are things I can't tell you yet. I'm sorry. It's okay, I trust you. Yi Qiu felt a warmth radiating from her crescent-shaped eyes. Yi Qiu didn't respond, leaning back against the tree trunk. Xiao Wu leaned against his chest, listening to his heartbeat until nightfall. The full moon shimmered on the lake, radiating a soft, bright light. Xiao Qiu. Yeah. Did you see anything a little while ago? What are you talking about? Did you happen to notice anything else? Ahem. Nope. Of course not. Yi Qiu replied instantly. Xiao Wu looked up at him suspiciously. What's going on? Saw it clearly. Should be no problem replicating that hidden weapon, Yi Qiu explained truthfully. Good, hurry up and make me one. Compared to what Tang San gave me, Miss Xiao Wu would much rather have something made by Xiao Qiu. She looped her arms around his neck, trying to press her face close to his. I'll do my best. Qiu was speechless. If Tang San ever found out about this, he'd be crushed. But Xiao Wu, you can't tell Tang San about this, or we're both in trouble, Qiu reminded her. I know, Miss Xiao Wu isn't stupid. Really? Qiu playfully pinched her cheek. Ow. You wanna die? Believe it or not, Miss Wu will beat you to a pulp. Xiao Wu, feeling insulted, pummeled Qiu playfully before giving up. After playing around for a while, Qiu suggested they head back. Let's go, let's get back early. Already? So soon? Xiao Wu was reluctant, it felt too short, like she hadn't had enough fun. Even so, she obediently started walking toward the dormitory with Qiu. Qiu could only apologize silently. He didn't like this either. Every time they were together, it felt like stealing moments. But he felt like he was always being watched. He had a feeling that as his relationship with Xiao Wu grew stronger, the days when he could stay by her side were numbered. To Tang Hao, a 10,000-year soul ring was too important to lose. Guess I need to start figuring out the fairy grass situation ASAP. Sorry, Xiao Wu, glancing at the silly rabbit giggling beside him, Qiu also decided to put his plan into action. He was determined to get his hands on the fairy grass from the ice and fire yin-yang well. Even though he didn't know what the various herbs were, that didn't matter. Tang San knew, he would just have to use Xiao Wu and, Xian Yu hand, ghost shadow perplexing track, etc. He wanted them all. Xiao Qiu. What are you thinking about? Still walking, Xiao Wu, who was fooling around on the side of the road, jumped in front of Qiu, facing him with her hands behind her back. He moved forward, she stepped back, and they stared at each other. After walking like this for a little ways, Qiu stopped and spoke slowly, his expression serious. Xiao Wu, I need your help with something. What is it? If Miss Xiao Wu can do it, I promise I will. Xiao Wu also stopped, stepped in front of Qiu, placed her hands behind her back, tilted her head slightly, and waited quietly. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding either. Xiao Wu also dropped her smile, looking directly into his eyes. Xiao Wu is serious. Ah! With a soft cry, Xiao Wu was pulled into Qiu's arms. Xiao Wu stood on her tiptoes, and the two rested their heads on each other's shoulders. This is the first time Xiao Qiu has hugged me like this. The cold moonlight stained the night, and a light, cool breeze blew by, but Xiao Wu only felt warmth. She wrapped her hands around his back, hugging him tightly. Hee. You really are a silly rabbit. Hearing Qiu's voice, Xiao Wu rarely argued, simply smiling foolishly. Okay, whatever Xiao Qiu says. Those words made Qiu's heart ache, and he sighed. He slowly pushed her away, held her shoulders, and looked at her. If you're ever in danger, I'll do everything I can to protect you. But you're not as strong as I am, right? I'll protect you. Xiao Wu raised her fist. Qiu frowned. He hated this feeling, and said in a deep voice, I'm serious too. Even if I'm still weak, I promise. I'll die before you do. Xiao Wu froze, her expression stiff, caught between laughing and crying. Finally, her eyes reddened and her eyelashes glistened. Xiao Wu trusts you. About 15 minutes later, Qiu and Xiao Wu had almost reached the dormitory entrance. Qiu stepped aside and slapped his cheeks, making a loud smacking sound. He hadn't expected that he, normally as steady as an old rock, had gotten so emotional just now, and he needed to snap out of it. The way that silly rabbit acted made him feel like he was going crazy. Xiao Wu, standing to the side, giggled, touching her lips, reliving her victory. Seeing Qiu's actions, she asked suspiciously, Xiao Qiu, what are you doing? Nothing, just swatting mosquitoes. Swatting mosquitoes? Don't you regret it? Xiao Wu looked at him pitifully. How could I? I meant what I said. Really? Really? Qiu replied without hesitation. Then why did you pull away just now when I tried to kiss you? Xiao Wu bit her lip and pouted, staring straight at him even though she was shy. I wasn't ready yet. Qiu, who had never even kissed a girl before, blushed. This was tough, really tough. Ha ha ha. Xiao Wu burst out laughing, seeing Qiu, who was usually so composed, become so flustered. Oh yeah, what did Xiao Qiu need my help with? I'll tell you tomorrow. Let's go in quickly. Qiu patted and kneaded his face a few more times. Okay. He thought she was clearly in a great mood, practically bouncing as she walked. Chapter 13. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them entered the seventh room, one right after the other. Wang Sheng, Tang San, and the others were already back. Tang San started to greet Xiao Wu, but stopped when he noticed Qiu behind her. He looked back and forth between them with suspicion. Qiu casually went back to his bed. Wang Sheng beat him to it, stopping Xiao Wu at the door. Hey, Xiao Wu, where have you been? Mind your own business. Xiao Wu shot back, but she was in a good mood, so she let it slide. I went for a walk. A walk? Wang Sheng glanced at Qiu, confused. Xiao Wu, were you crying? Crying? Who's been crying? Don't be ridiculous. Xiao Wu retorted. Tang San, already suspicious, noticed Xiao Wu's red eyes and the faint mark on Qiu's face after Wang Sheng pointed it out. Once Tang San got an idea in his head, there was no stopping him. He decided it was time to step in. He marched right up to Qiu, pointed a finger at him, and said, Qiu. Are you bullying Xiao Wu? Qiu was stunned. Why is this about me, he thought. Didn't you see Xiao Wu smiling when she came in? How could I? Qiu quickly denied it. If he admitted to being bullied, he'd be admitting to being kissed by that rogue rabbit. Tang San wasn't letting it go. If you weren't bullying her, why are her eyes red? And how did you get that mark on your face? Asterisk, do rabbits even get red eyes? Asterisk, Qiu thought, his mouth twitching. Fine, you want to know. How about this? I slapped myself. Tang San scoffed. Oh, you think I'm an idiot? I'm not Xiao Wu, I'm not buying that. Qiu started to explain, but Xiao Wu, having finally shaken off Wang Sheng, overheard Tang San's last words. Xiao San, what's that supposed to mean? Are you saying I'm stupid? Xiao Wu glared at Tang San. No one but Qiu was allowed to call her stupid. Xiao Wu, that's not what I meant, Tang San quickly backtracked. Good, or I'll teach you a lesson. Humph. Seeing Xiao Wu's flustered expression, Tang San's heart melted. Xiao Wu, tell me, did Qiu bully you? I'll take care of him. Xiao Qiu. When did he bully me? Xiao Wu pondered, tapping her chin. Asterisk, I'm the only one who bullies Xiao Qiu. Asterisk, she thought, her face flushing. Asterisk, why can't that be me? Asterisk, Tang San thought, jealousy raging. Still, he tried to keep his head. Really? Then why are your eyes red, and what's with the mark on his face? I got something in my eye, made me tear up. She held her face, smiling dreamily. She remembered something funny and giggled. As for the mark on Xiao Qiu's face, he did that himself. Hit himself. Hearing Xiao Wu's laughter, Tang San's face burned. Is this some new pickup strategy? That he looked at Qiu, who just shrugged innocently. He'd expected this. The rabbit was indeed sweet and cuddly, and he wasn't letting her go. Xiao Qiu, are you okay? Xiao Wu, done laughing, came over to check on Qiu. I'm fine. Tang San just asked me a few questions. Good. Having been around Tang San a while, Xiao Wu could tell a little about his personality. She was worried he might pull something on Qiu. Tang San sensed something was off. Qiu and Xiao Wu had always been friendly, but tonight, there was something different. Xiao Wu was looking at Qiu with softer eyes, his fists clenched, but Xiao Wu's voice snapped him back. Xiao San, thanks for your concern, but I'm really okay. Had Xiao Wu become more polite? No, she probably thought Yi Qiu's request might involve Tang San, that's why she was thanking him, *. For Yi Qiu's sake, thanking Tang San isn't bad, *. It's okay, I didn't think it through and blamed Yi Qiu. My bad. Hearing the word, thanks, Tang San felt it was all worth it. She cares about me, he thought. It's my fault, why did I slap myself? My mistake. Yi Qiu just wanted to drop it, glancing at Xiao Wu, who was giggling. Yeah, Xiao Qiu's fault. Xiao Wu winked at Yi Qiu, teasing him. Hearing Xiao Wu's conclusion, Tang San was satisfied. His concern hadn't been wasted. Then he brought a food box from the table. Oh, Xiao Wu, you said you weren't full tonight, right? I brought some late-night snack. Snack? What is it? Xiao Wu perked up at the mention of food. She was a bit hungry after their walk. Yi Qiu, come eat some too. Consider it my apology. Oh. Sounds good, Yi Qiu, Xiao Wu, and Tang San gathered around the table, waiting for Tang San to reveal what was in the food box. He opened it and pushed it toward Xiao Wu. Look, Xiao Wu, fresh roasted rabbit. I asked the teacher to have the kitchen make it special. I used to eat it all the time back in Saint Soul village, it's delicious. Tang San kept staring at the box as he talked. He clearly loved it. But he didn't notice Xiao Wu's face freeze, turning dark. Yi Qiu, also hungry, reached out. Ah! Yi Qiu! Xiao Wu shouted, slapping his hand away. You can't eat that. Tang San thought Xiao Wu wanted it all to herself. Great, Xiao Wu loves to eat. He pushed it closer to Xiao Wu. Then Xiao Wu, you eat up. Ah! Tang San. Xiao Wu went ballistic, her eyes blazing, teeth grinding. Poor Tang San was clueless. What's wrong? I'll eat your ass, get lost. Xiao Wu swore. Tang San was speechless. Noticing Yi Qiu was still swallowing, she glared at him. Yi Qiu, if you dare eat that, I'll ignore you. Hee. Yi Qiu chuckled nervously, tears welling up, and quickly stuffed his hands in his pockets. The chef was seriously good. Xiao Wu, what's wrong? Tang San asked weakly. Didn't she like rabbit meat? Even Wang Xing next to him was drooling. Chapter 14 Immortal Grass. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Originally, Xiao Wu was in a good mood, but the sight of the rabbit meat instantly soured it. A plate of rabbit heads, slathered in sauce, stared back at her, making her blood boil. Tang San, I'm asking you. She yelled, hands on her hips, looking ready for a fight. Where did this rabbit come from? Tang San, clueless about her outburst, replied honestly, I went hunting today with my sleeve arrows. Found a whole litter of them. I even skinned and gutted them myself, so they're super fresh. Yi Qiu winced, bracing for impact, and sure enough. Shut up. How dare you? Xiao Wu didn't want to hear another word. With a flip of her hair, her scorpion braid snaked around Tang San's neck. Xiao Wu. What the, crack, before he knew it, Tang San was upside down, flying through the air, and then slammed back down to earth with a thud. Xiao Wu pounced on him, stomping him under her feet. Ow! Xiao Wu, he groaned, looking up at her in confusion. Why are you attacking me? Yi Qiu shuddered. He was lucky he hadn't been on the receiving end of this when he made rabbit stew. His little body wouldn't have been able to get out of bed for 2 weeks. Xiao Wu, enough. Yi Qiu quickly intervened, seeing she was about to strike again. Ease up, or you'll break him. He grabbed Xiao Wu, pulled her away, and then helped Tang San to his feet. Tang San, you okay? Yeah, cough. I'm fine. Tang San clutched his chest, glancing fearfully at Xiao Wu. Humph. Miss Xiao Wu is furious. Xiao Wu glared at Tang San, then at the food box on the table. The angrier she got the longer she looked. Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng. Ha. Oh, Miss Xiao Wu, I'm here, I'm here. Wang Sheng, snapped out of his daze, rushed over. Yes, Miss Wu. Take that, cute little rabbit box and bury it. Ha. Wang Sheng was confused. Cute. Shouldn't it be delicious? What are you waiting for? Do it. Xiao Wu snapped. Wang Sheng, not wanting to end up like Tang San, nodded and grabbed the food box. Xiao Wu, worried about the buried rabbits being hungry, called after him, Wang Sheng, if you dare steal any, I'll beat you to a pulp. Got it. Wang Sheng said. And remember, if you're working for Miss Wu and you find out someone's eating rabbit, they're out of Chisha. Got it? Got it. The other guys chorused, satisfied. Xiao Wu turned to Yi Qiu and Tang San. That goes for you too, that she jabbed a finger at Tang San. Especially you. Heh, Yi Qiu chuckled nervously, rubbing his nose. I didn't realize you still remembered. Tang San, however, just stared at Xiao Wu's flushed face and fiery eyes, dumbstruck. Especially me? He pondered her words, the confusion in his eyes clearing. Suddenly, everything that had just happened didn't seem so bad. What mattered was that he, Tang San, was special to Xiao Wu. I get it, Xiao Wu. I promise, I'll never eat rabbit meat again. He realized the pain in his body wasn't so bad after all, and immediately made his promise. Yi Qiu, hiding his red eyes under his bangs, felt a twinge. He had hypnotized Tang San, which was a tough feat that he had just given Tang San some psychological nudges, suggesting he ignore the changes he noticed in Xiao Wu tonight because if this kept up, Tang San would probably attack him, and death was not funny, whether it worked and how well were beyond Yi Qiu's control. He needed to keep this going. He needed time. But if Yi Qiu knew what Tang San was really thinking, he'd be floored. He really deserved the title of third brother. What understanding! That night's little drama ended there, and Chisha and Nodding College settled into silence. Moonlight streamed through the window. After beating up Tang San, Xiao Wu's anger had long since dissipated. Looking at Yi Qiu meditating on the bed next to her, she thought about what he had said and decided that it wouldn't be so bad if Yi Qiu ate rabbit meat once in a while. If something were to happen to her, she, the silly rabbit, had already thought it through. Yi Qiu, still meditating, felt something shift. His eyes flashed red, and he glanced at Xiao Wu, who was already buried under the covers. The next morning, Yi Qiu still skipped class. Tang San had mostly recovered overnight and was his usual attentive self, while Xiao Wu paid him little mind. Yi Qiu went to the branch of the spirit hall, carrying paper and pen. His Sharingan was already active. On the paper, he drew a lifelike chrysanthemum, just like the one on the spirit hall's gate, enhanced by his Sharingan. He wrote next to it, fairy grass, chrysanthemum, eat to gain an indestructible body. Then he drew a tulip from the flower shop, and wrote, fairy grass, beautiful tulip, delicious to eat. He drew various other flowers, mixing fact with fiction. This was his gambit to get information about the fairy grass. It depended on whether Tang San took the bait, but Yi Qiu was confident. Since ancient times, even heroes had fallen for beauty, and he was hardly a hero. That evening, Yi Qiu gave the drawings to Xiao Wu. Xiao Qiu, what's all this? The drawings are pretty. Xiao Wu sat on the edge of the bed, shaking her feet, carefully flipping through the booklet. By the way, are these flowers really as magical as you say? Some of it's true, some isn't. But the real fairy grass is even more potent than I described. Yi Qiu knew the value of these fairy grasses. They were, without exaggeration, the foundation of the Shrek 7 devils becoming gods. Then what about this lovesick heartbroken red? Is that real? Xiao Wu stared intently at the page with the flower, pondering the story written next to it, then looked at Yi Qiu expectantly. That one's real. But I don't know what it looks like. Yi Qiu hesitated. Oh. Xiao Wu sounded disappointed. But Tang San does. Tang San does? Xiao Wu seemed to catch on to Yi Qiu's plan. Yeah, Tang San knows a lot about fairy grass. I need your help to get that information out of him, Yi Qiu nodded. Okay. No problem. Just as he expected, Xiao Wu readily agreed. She didn't know where Xiao Qiu got his information, but it didn't matter. She trusted him. Xiao Wu, if this goes well in the future, I'll. Xiao Wu cut him off. She knew what he was going to say, but it wasn't important. Xiao Qiu was what she liked. Xiao Qiu. Yeah, Yi Qiu looked at the rabbit in front of him. Even though she didn't know boundaries, she was really sweet. Another day of waiting. Chapter 15. What grade are you? You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's been over 2 years since I arrived at Notting College, and almost a year since I asked Xiao Wu to get me info about the fairy herbs. The ease of it all felt surreal to Yi Qiu. He initially thought it would take some effort, but it happened that same day. Xiao Wu had barely glanced at the pamphlet in front of Tang San when Tang San cracked. To get back in Xiao Wu's good graces, and create some distance, he spilled everything. Maybe Tang San gave up the info so easily because he thought the fairy herbs were just a fantasy. Whatever the reason, Yi Qiu got what he wanted. Plus, by having Xiao Wu spar with Tang San a lot, Tang San's mysterious jade hand, ghost shadow perplexing track, and controlling crane capturing dragon techniques were practically copied. Aside from hidden weapons, poison, and chaotic cloaks, Tang San's main skills were pretty much gone. Yi Qiu knew what he was doing wasn't cool, but they were destined to be enemies. The moment Xiao Wu chose him, it was inevitable. After all, the Xiantian treasure record's third principle states, if you're sure your opponent has a way to kill you, show no mercy. In the 7th dorm, Yi Qiu sat alone, cross-legged on his bed, silently cultivating. Sigh. A long sigh, filled with a little helplessness. His soul power had already reached level 10, but his Sharingan was still stuck in the Tutomo state. This had kept him from adding a soul ring to his martial soul for a while. He wasn't about to settle for just any 400-year soul ring. After all this time, Yi Qiu knew that soul beasts rarely gained real intelligence. They might have advantages over humans in body and soul power, but humans were superior in spirit. The Sharingan could greatly boost Yi Qiu's spiritual power. For his plan, the 3-tomo state was ideal. It would maximize the benefits. Exhaling, Yi Qiu decided not to dwell on it. If it came down to it, he'd just use the 2-tomo Sharingan. As usual, he glanced at the bed next to him. Xiao Wu, who usually clung to him, was out all night. He missed her, but he knew what she was up to. I wonder if she's gotten her second soul ring yet. Thinking about it made Yi Qiu smile, but his expression turned cold when he looked at the bed on the other side of Xiao Wu's. That was Tang San's creepy bed. Maybe Xiao Wu's constant talks with Tang San were giving him the wrong idea, like he was delusional. Usually, when Xiao Wu was around, Tang San wouldn't dare to act up. But after Xiao Wu left, Yi Qiu came back last night and found that this guy had actually moved his bed next to hers. Unbelievable. Click. The door to the 7th dorm opened, and a dark-skinned young man walked in. Yi Qiu glanced over, sensing immediately that Tang San had leveled up again. Tang San grinned, as if he had just noticed Yi Qiu. Oh. Yi Qiu, still training? You're really working hard. Though it was meant as a compliment, it sounded like a taunt to Yi Qiu. He replied with a noncommittal grunt. Tang San didn't seem to notice. He went to his bed, gathered his things, and kept talking. Oh, by the way, I've got good news. I've broken through to level 20. The teacher's taking me to get my second soul ring later. Congrats. Soon you'll be a soul grandmaster, Yi Qiu said flatly, his face unchanging. Thanks. But I'm still a little behind Xiao Wu. Luckily, after today, we'll both be second-ring soul masters. Tang San's expression was even more smug, and tenderness flickered in his eyes. Yi Qiu saw it all and just curled his lip in disdain. Tang San packed his things away using his 24-bridge moonlight night, walked to the door, opened it, then turned back. Qiu, you need to work harder. Or else, Xiao Wu. He gave Qiu a meaningful look, then left. Heh, Qiu chuckled, annoyed. What was that? A power play? Or was he telling me to face the truth and stay away from Xiao Wu? Tang San's actions were basically pointing at him and saying, what level are you at? You think you deserve to be with Xiao Wu? Qiu stretched casually, deciding to skip training for now. He'd go for a walk and find a place to work on his ghost shadow technique. Qiu left, leaving the 7th dorm empty. Noon. Whoa, but the door of the 7th dorm burst open. Who dared to be so disrespectful in the dorm of Notting College's top girl? Wang Sheng and the others were used to it by now. Only their big sister Xiao Wu would pull something like that. They heard her voice before they saw her. Xiao Qiu, I'm back. Her voice was crisp and clear. Xiao Wu, arms open wide, looked around. Huh? Where's Xiao Qiu? Sis Xiao Wu, did you really become a soul grandmaster? Wang Sheng ran up to her and circled her twice. He'd never seen such a young soul grandmaster before. Of course. I even went to the spirit hall for certification and got some gold soul coins. She patted the little pouch at her waist. Xiao Wu didn't want to talk about it. She missed Qiu after being away for so long. Anyway, where did Xiao Qiu go? Oh, Qiu went out this morning and hasn't come back yet. Wang Sheng avoided Xiao Wu's eyes. He felt that Xiao Wu seemed even prettier. Oh, okay. But he promised to wait for me. She pouted, waved Wang Sheng away, and walked toward Qiu's bed. Huh? Xiao Wu noticed out of the corner of her eye that someone had taken the bed next to hers, the one that had been empty for so long. Didn't they know no one was allowed to sleep there? Wang Sheng. What's going on? Xiao Wu frowned, pointing at the bed, a little angry. Miss Wu, that's where third bro is staying now. Wang Sheng was concerned, not wanting to get involved in the big brother's business. Tang San. Xiao Wu's eyebrows shot up. That guy is so annoying. It was one thing to bother her when she was trying to spend time with Xiao Qiu, but now he was taking it to a whole new level. Xiao Qiu won't be mad about this, right? Thinking this, Xiao Wu put her hands on her hips and ordered, you guys, throw his stuff out. Sis Wu, is that a good idea? What's wrong with it? Third bro's a soul grandmaster, we're scared. Wang Sheng hunched over, scratching his head, not daring to look at her. Humph. Who's scared of who? I'll do it myself. Xiao Wu couldn't stand anything that threatened her relationship with Xiao Qiu. Sunset, dusk, Tang San had successfully hunted a ghost vine and obtained his second soul skill, Parasite. Saying goodbye to the master, he hurried back to the dorm, figuring Xiao Wu should be back by now. Sure enough, as he expected, as soon as he opened the door, he saw Xiao Wu sitting on the edge of the bed, seeming much prettier than before. For a moment, Tang San couldn't help but stare. Xiao Wu's second spirit ability, Charm, had changed her aura a bit, and for Tang San, it was like a piercing poison. Xiao Wu, you're back. He whispered softly, holding his throat, afraid of offending the beauty. Humph. Xiao Wu completely ignored him, snorting coldly and turning her head away. Only then did Tang San realize the atmosphere was off. Wang Sheng and the others in the distance were silent, and there was a pile of junk in the hallway. Chapter 16 The Way to Die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Those rags looked familiar to Tang San. His pupils shrank. Seeing what was now his bed, his face went ugly. The joy of becoming a great soul master evaporated. No wonder it felt familiar. All that junk piled on the floor was his. He glanced at Xiao Wu, trying to keep his cool, but how could she do this? His ego was taking a beating. He'd thought Qiu was the only one around when he left, and he'd even hinted about it. Yeah, it had to be him. It couldn't be Xiao Wu, he thought, clinging to that idea. He yelled at Wang Sheng, who did this? Was it Yi Qiu? But before Wang Sheng could answer, Xiao Wu shattered his hope. Humph, Xiao Qiu wouldn't do something like that. I did it. Xiao Wu stood up, blocking Tang San's path. Ha! Tang San forced a smile, still trying to deny it. Xiao Wu, stop kidding, Yi Qiu must have done it, right? Don't worry, even if he did, I won't do anything to him. Enough. I said it was me. I, Miss Xiao Wu, threw your stuff away myself. Xiao Wu's words hit him like a punch, the fake smile froze. He lowered his head, his eyes clouded over. Why? Xiao Wu, why did you do that? Miss Xiao Wu already said no one can sleep there. What about Yi Qiu? Why can he be next to you? Tang San's eyes widened, pointing to Yi Qiu's spot. Xiao Qiu's different, Xiao Wu said, glaring at Tang San. Heh. Tang San sneered. Yeah, he's different. He's just a loser who isn't even a soul master. He just hides behind you, and even takes your money. Xiao Wu paused, realizing she needed to be clear. She knew what Tang San wanted, but she wasn't interested. You've got it all wrong. I went after Xiao Qiu, not the other way around. I chose to stand in front of him, and I'm willing to protect him. I gave him those gold coins. Enough, stop. Tang San interrupted, his voice full of rage. Lately, he'd been doing everything Xiao Wu asked, happily being her little brother, spending all his free time with her. But he couldn't compare to Yi Qiu, who didn't seem to care that much. Tang San was losing it, his eyes bloodshot. Xiao Wu, don't you get it? How can Yi Qiu compare to me? I was born with full soul power, just like you, and he's just a guy with level 1 soul power. Okay, maybe you're right, but it doesn't matter. I like him. That's all that matters. Xiao Wu answered flatly, as if stating a fact, leaving Tang San speechless. Only she knew Yi Qiu's spirit wasn't just level 1. She believed Yi Qiu would achieve just as much, if not more, than Tang San. Tang San clenched his fist, a surge of murderous intent filling his heart. He hated Yi Qiu. He didn't say anything, just silently bent down and started packing his things. Xiao Wu watched coldly, feeling the resentment in Tang San's eyes. She quietly went to Yi Qiu's spot, waiting for her Xiao Qiu to come back. Tang San, his head down, was watching Xiao Wu. Seeing her move, his face, already darkened from forging, turned even darker. Yi Qiu. You're a dead man. 7 houses away, a pair of weathered eyes watched everything happening inside from the shadows. He saw the faint red glow of a soft-boned charming rabbit above Xiao Wu's head, and a cold light flickered in his eyes. The sun sank below the horizon, leaving behind a sky full of red clouds. Exhausted, Yi Qiu returned to the dorm. Click. As soon as he walked in, Yi Qiu saw Xiao Wu sitting in his seat. Xiao Qiu. Xiao Wu saw him too, her face etched with worry. Xiao Wu, you're back, Yi Qiu said, walking toward her, completely oblivious to the tension in the room. Yi Qiu, stop. Tang San's angry voice startled him, and Yi Qiu turned, confused. Tang San, what do you want? Xiao Wu stepped in front of Yi Qiu, afraid he'd attack. Are you going to hide behind Xiao Wu forever? If you're a man, fight me, and the loser leaves Xiao Wu alone for good. Tang San glared at Yi Qiu from behind Xiao Wu. What's going on? Yi Qiu noticed that Xiao Wu's side of the room had been cleared out, and Tang San's stuff was piled messily on the other side. Looking closer at Tang San, he saw his eyes were bloodshot, his face twisted with cruelty. Looks like something bad happened. Yi Qiu guessed that this was happening sooner than expected. Don't agree. Xiao Wu grabbed Yi Qiu's hand and shook her head. Yi Qiu. Are you going to run away? You. Tang San. Enough. Xiao Qiu won't fight you. If you really want to fight, you'll have to go through me. She moved to charge at Tang San. Luckily, Qiu stopped her. Tang San's jealousy grew as he saw how much Xiao Wu cared for Qiu, making him even more unstable. Tang San, Xiao Wu isn't some object to be won. I'm not going to use her as a bet. You should just give up. Qiu said bluntly, then took Xiao Wu's hand and walked away. Seeing Qiu ignore him, Tang San snapped. You trash. Two yellow spirit rings appeared around Tang San's feet, one flashing brightly. First soul skill, entwine. Blue silver grass erupted from the floor, like venomous snakes, attacking Qiu. Ah! Wang Sheng and the others gasped at the sudden attack. Tang San, how dare you! Xiao Wu, on guard, immediately stepped back to block the attack. To avoid hurting Xiao Wu, Tang San had to carefully control the blue-silver grass, but Qiu felt a few spores land on him as the grass passed by. As he expected, the blue-silver grass's second soul ability was coming. Second soul skill. Parasite. Tang San shouted coldly, not stopping despite Xiao Wu's protection. Consumed by anger, suddenly, blue-silver grass sprouted from Qiu's body, wrapping around him. Xiao Qiu. Xiao Wu knew Tang San's blue-silver grass contained poison. She couldn't waste any time. Second soul skill, charm. She instantly transformed, a fluffy tail appearing on her lower back, ears standing tall, and her red eyes glowing. Tang San, already obsessed with her, was instantly distracted and froze in place. Tang San. How dare you hurt Xiao Qiu? Xiao Wu held nothing back. In her mind, anyone who harmed Qiu deserved to die. She knew how dangerous Tang San was. With his weird hidden weapons. She closed and quickly. End of this chapter. Chapter 17. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Under Xiao Wu's feet, her first soul ring flared. First soul skill, waist bow, swish, the scorpion braid whipped around Tang San's neck, yanking him upright. Back to him, Xiao Wu planted a foot in his waist, using him as a lever to flip him head over heels. He scrambled to untangle the braid, but it was too late. The ground rushed up to meet him. Bang! Ah! Tang San screamed. Xiao Wu felt every bone ache, too. Before she could even process it, the weightlessness returned. First soul skill, waist bow. Tang San's eyes widened. Is Xiao Wu trying to kill me? Bang, 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 ignoring his thoughts, Xiao Wu mechanically repeated her soul skill. Just as Qiu finished tearing off the blue-silver grass, a cold wave washed over him, his heart leaping. He's here. He's close. He frantically yelled, okay, Xiao Wu. Stop. His voice was rushed, snap, he grabbed Xiao Wu's wrist. That's enough. But, Xiao Qiu. I said stop. Qiu's grip tightened on her wrist, turning it red. Xiao Wu, in pain, gave Qiu a strange look. Tang San lay unconscious on the ground, likely with broken bones. Wang Sheng, get Tang San to a bed. Qiu barked. They didn't move. Only when Xiao Wu glared at them did they react. Okay. Letting them deal with Tang San, Xiao Wu clung to Qiu's arm, tilting her head up. What's wrong? He didn't answer, just patted her head. His martial spirit quietly activated under the black silk, focusing his senses, piercing through the walls, searching. Only after confirming nothing was amiss did Qiu relax. Sensing his unease, Xiao Wu reached out and touched his forehead. Xiao Qiu, are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm fine. Just need a little quiet. Who's Jingjing? Xiao Wu pouted. She'd just beaten Tang San to a pulp, and Xiao Qiu couldn't even praise her. He gave a wry smile, not answering. Feeling exhausted, he thought, silly rabbit, so carefree. Seeing Wang Sheng and the others had almost settled Tang San, Qiu was about to ask someone to call the master when. Bang, 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 that the dormitory door slammed like a drum solo, signaling the visitor was in a foul mood. After a relentless barrage of knocks, an angry voice boomed, "Xiao Wu. Open this damn door." Wang Sheng and the others recognized the voice but dared not move. "You Xiaojiang?" Yi Qiu muttered. Just as I thought. He wasn't mistaken, Tang Hao had been nearby. How else would you Xiaojiang know about Tang San's predicament so quickly? Without hesitation, Yi Qiu stepped forward to open the door. "Xiao Qiu." Xiao Wu's worried voice stopped him. He offered her a reassuring look. He swung the door open, meeting the situation head-on. Standing there was Yu Xiaojiang, in his academic robes, his face usually expressionless but now contorted with rage, horror blazing in his eyes. He was still panting heavily, evidence of his frantic sprint. Yu Xiaojiang hadn't wanted to run like that, but he had no choice. He'd been reading peacefully when his idol, Douluo, had sought him out again. He'd told him his disciple, the golden ticket for the future, had been beaten unconscious by a little girl. He'd rushed over the moment he heard the news, not daring to delay. After pounding for what felt like forever, the door finally opened. "What do you think you're doing? Are you rebelling?" Seeing Wang Sheng and the others cowering inside, he exploded. His gaze swept past Yi Qiu, latching onto Xiao Wu, ready to unleash a torrent of reprimands. "Where's Tang San?" Yi Qiu, in no mood for his nonsense, pointed to Tang San on the bed. "Little San." Yu Xiaojiang spotted the motionless figure and charged forward. "Little San. Little San." He shook him violently, but Tang San didn't respond, panic gripping him. He was just a reject, exiled from his family, a fraud kicked out of the spirit hall by the saint, a fool abandoned by his cousin. But he refused to be a laughingstock forever. He needed to prove himself to the world. "Damn you. If anything happens to little San, you'll all pay." He glared viciously at Xiao Wu, spittle flying. "Humph. He started it." Xiao Wu shot back. "Just a level 29 has been." Xiao Wu was way out of his league. "Master, don't worry. He probably just broke a few bones. A healing soul master should fix him up." Yi Qiu tugged on Xiao Wu's sleeve, signaling her to be quiet, and urged Yu Xiaojiang to take Tang San away. Hearing Yi Qiu's words, Yu Xiaojiang finally calmed slightly. He checked Tang San's pulse and relaxed a bit. A gust of wind blew past the door, sending a shiver down his spine. His back was soaked with sweat. "Humph. It better be. Otherwise, you'll all regret this." After delivering his threat, he hoisted Tang San onto his back and stormed off. Yi Qiu gazed into the night. He thought he saw a shadowy figure lurking near Yu Xiaojiang as he ran, but he couldn't be sure. "Xiao Qiu, should we leave Nodding College?" Yi Qiu, still staring blankly outside, heard Xiao Wu's voice. "Leave. Where to? Are you planning on leaving me?" Without a word, he pulled her into a hug. "Don't worry. Get some rest. Things will be fine in a few days." "Okay," Xiao Wu replied softly. She didn't know what Yi Qiu was thinking, but she trusted him implicitly. Later that night, the lights in Dorm 7 were out. The others were asleep, but Yi Qiu tossed and turned. Tang Hao will see me as nothing but a hindrance now. My days with Xiao Wu are numbered. Star. Xiao Wu. Yi Qiu, lost in thought, suddenly noticed Xiao Wu slip out of bed. She tiptoed over to Yi Qiu's bed and unceremoniously crawled in. Xiao Wu snuggled close, wrapping her arms around his neck, burying her face in his chest. "Xiao Qiu, it's been so long since we've cuddled like this. Hold me tight, okay?" Her sweet voice, so soothing, his tense body and troubled mind eased. Holding the soft girl in his arms, their eyes met. Maybe it's time to brave the hunting soul forest. Without soul skills, I'm a liability. After today's events, Xiao Wu had been forced to step in. He was determined. If anything happened, he wouldn't let Xiao Wu suffer. No sacrifices, none of that. Yi Qiu wasn't about to power up on dead wife energy. As he mapped out his plans for tomorrow, a soft, familiar sensation touched his lips. A few moments later, Xiao Wu whispered. Xiao Qiu, sleep tight. Xiao Wu will always be with you. Chapter 18, Tang Hao's End. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dawn, Yi Qiu's internal clock, honed over years, woke him early. He looked down at Xiao Wu nestled in his arms, a slight drool at the corner of her mouth. Her youthful face still held a hint of baby fat, and he gently pinched her cheek. He quietly slipped out of bed and followed his usual routine, heading to a secluded spot to climb a tree and watch the first rays of purple energy rise in the east. All right, he muttered, another day's ZG Demon Eye training complete. Time to get ready. Back in the dorm, he scribbled a note, hunting souls. Don't look. And tucked it under Xiao Wu's pillow. The hunting soul forest wasn't for just anyone. It was filled with soul beasts, and entry required a special permit from the Spirit Hall, obtainable with gold spirit coins at the Nodding Branch. As soon as he stepped into the Spirit Hall branch, someone stopped him. This is the Spirit Hall. Not just anyone can enter. Show me your Soul Master certificate. I just reached level 10, Yi Qiu explained, and I want to buy a permit for the hunting forest. Could you point me in the right direction? Not wanting to cause a scene, Yi Qiu produced his Nodding College ID and briefly flared his soul power. Hunting souls. You're just a kid. The guard frowned. I suggest you hire some backup. Thanks for the tip, Yi Qiu replied. I will. Fine, come with me. The guard didn't press the issue. He'd seen countless kids like this, eager to prove themselves, only to end up buried in the hunting soul forest. Some people just can't be reasoned with, so he stuck to the standard advice. The Spirit Hall was efficient. Yi Qiu completed the paperwork quickly, though it was expensive. Nearly all his savings were gone. Permit in hand, he headed to the market and retrieved the gunpowder he'd prepared. Unseen by Yi Qiu, a pair of weathered eyes tracked his every move from afar. As he passed through a narrow alley, where few people were around, a black figure dropped down in front of him. What? Yi Qiu froze. The pressure was immense, pinning him in place. The eyes beneath the black hat studied him. The figure was broad-shouldered, with a face obscured by stubble. Yi Qiu knew who it was, Tang San's deadbeat dad, Haotian Douluo Tang Hao. Cold sweat trickled down his forehead. Damn it, is this really happening? A raspy voice echoed in his mind, Tang Hao's lips barely moving. Sound transmission. East Forest, outside the city. Tang Hao stared at Yi Qiu for another moment, then vanished. Thump, huff, huff. Yi Qiu collapsed, gasping for air. He'd forgotten to breathe in Tang Hao's presence, like he was drowning. His clothes were soaked with sweat. Great. The Haotian school protects its own. He's personally cleaning up my son's competition. With a bitter laugh, he shakily stood up, hesitated, and then headed for the eastern forest. Since Tang Hao hadn't attacked him directly, the danger was likely lessened. Still, he was no more than an ant before a tidal Douluo. Escape was out of the question. He needed to know, was Tang Hao doing this for his daughter-in-law, or for the 10-year soul ring? Nodding City wasn't huge, but it wasn't small either. It took Yi Qiu half an hour after leaving the gate to reach Tang Hao. Tang Hao stood waiting, the black bamboo hat swaying in the breeze. Senior, Yi Qiu said respectfully, what can I do for you? Tang Hao didn't turn around. He spoke directly, his voice flat. Boy, leave that girl alone. She's not good enough for you. Yi Qiu feigned confusion. Are you talking about Xiao Wu? Are you family? To prevent Tang Hao from silencing him, Yi Qiu avoided any connection between Tang Hao and Tang San. That's not your concern. Tang Hao snapped, his voice turning cold. Get out of here. Stay away from her. Why? Yi Qiu asked, genuinely curious about Tang Hao's reasoning. You're a coward, Tang Hao scoffed. You reached level 10 months ago, and you still haven't dared to hunt for a soul ring. Yi Qiu never imagined that his conversations with Xiao Wu were being overheard. When Xiao Wu had learned of Yi Qiu's breakthrough, she had pestered him about finding him a spirit ring, but he had always declined, and Tang Hao saw that as cowardice. Is that all? Senior, I'm more than capable. Of course, that wasn't all, but Tang Hao wasn't about to explain. Enough. I said, you're not good enough for her. Tang Hao's pressure washed over Yi Qiu again. Yi Qiu stood his ground, a sneer forming in his mind. Asterisk is that she or it? The figure under the bamboo hat scowled, his pressure intensifying. Seeing Yi Qiu's defiance, he had a sudden, dark thought. Let this be the price for hurting my son. Tang Hao chuckled, his tone casual, as if crushing an ant. What? Yi Qiu was shocked to hear that Tang Hao was siding with his son. Tang Hao planned to kill him. Yi Qiu caught a flicker of bloodlust beneath Tang Hao's hat, a terrifying aura surging towards him. Not good. A mental attack. And killing God domain. He thought Tang Hao wouldn't kill him, but he was wrong. A mental attack could kill, or leave him a vegetable. In Yi Qiu's mind, the sky turned crimson, a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood rising up to engulf him. The Sharingan under his black silk strained, tears of blood streaming down his face. The power difference was too great. The stalemate didn't last long, and Yi Qiu's mind went blank. In the depths of his fading consciousness, he seemed to see Xiao Wu sacrificing herself for Tang San, just as fate had intended. His hatred surged, his body stiffened and fell. Tang Hao stepped forward and nudged Yi Qiu's head. There was no response. He was just an ant, not worth a second glance. Douluo didn't even need to check. That was the confidence of the strong. Tang Hao turned and left, satisfied. Chapter 19:3 Gouyu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu, miles away at Notting College, skipped class because of what happened the night before. She stayed in dormitory 7, sprawled on Yi Qiu's bed, toying with a bamboo dragonfly. Clutching the little note Yi Qiu had left her, she grumbled, Xiao Qiu's such a pain. He goes soul hunting and doesn't even invite me. What if he gets into trouble? The bamboo dragonfly spun slowly in her fingers. Crack, a sudden snap, the rod Yi Qiu had fixed broke again. Xiao Qiu. Xiao Wu felt a pang in her heart. She jumped up, clutching her chest, tears welling in her eyes. Meanwhile, at Yu Xiaojiang's place, Tang San was up and about, but he wasn't interested in training. He sat where the master usually read, staring out the window towards the dorm, lost in thought. Click. Yu Xiaojiang walked in, having already seen Tang Hao. Little San, still dwelling on what happened that night. Tang San didn't react, still lost in his thoughts. Sigh. Yu Xiaojiang sighed, set down the soup he'd brought, and patted Tang San on the shoulder. Don't worry, she'll come around. I heard that Yi Qiu guy has left Notting College. What? Tang San's eyes widened. Teacher, are you serious? Of course, maybe he got spooked. Yu Xiaojiang knew the truth, of course. Haotian Mian himself had taken care of it. Dealing with a kid was easy, and with him here, there were no surprises. Of course, the truth wasn't that Yi Qiu was scared, he was likely dead. But lying was Yu Xiaojiang's specialty. He'd even fooled the saint and his own cousin. What about Xiao Wu? Tang San grabbed Yu Xiaojiang's arm, anxious to know. She's still at the academy. Great. I have to see Xiao Wu. Tang San leaped up, ready to bolt out the door, but Yu Xiaojiang stopped him. Hold on, you need to heal up first. Don't want any lingering issues that'll mess with your training later. She can't go. Looking at Tang San, Yu Xiaojiang saw his younger self, the same infatuation, but it had all been ruined by someone. Clenching his fists, he vowed to make that woman, Bibi Dong, and that shameless thing regret everything. Tang San was his hope. He calmed Tang San down, convincing him to focus on recovery. Evening fell. A breeze rustled the leaves in the trees. In a clearing lay the corpse of a young man in black. His face was pale, with streaks of blood, and the black ribbon covering his eyes was crusted with dried blood as if stirred by the breeze. The young man's fingers twitched, a gust of wind blew away the blood-stained black threads covering his eyes. A pair of blood-red eyes were revealed. The three tomo within the eyes rotated, bloodshot eyes on a pale face, like an evil spirit. Lying on the ground, expressionless, Qiu slowly grinned. After baking in the sun all day, smiling just caused blood to seep from the corners of his cracked lips, but Qiu felt no pain. He smiled wildly. Heh. Ha ha ha, that he started with a soft laugh, then a sneer, building to a full-throated roar. He laughed at how he deserved this, at Tang Hao's self-righteousness, at the Tang family's father and son digging their own graves. Tang Hao. Just you wait. I'm coming for you. He shouted at the sky, venting his rage. After his outburst, Qiu staggered away, exhausted. Qiu hadn't expected to survive Tang Hao's attack. At the last second, he'd somehow managed to force his Sharingan to evolve, reaching the three-tomo state. It was a stroke of luck. Qiu decided to stick to his original plan and quietly make his way to Nodding City. Xiao Wu. Wait for me. Night deepened, and a crescent moon peeked through the clouds. Wearing a black robe, Qiu reached the small workshop where he used to work. Knock, knock, star. After 2 knocks, a voice came from inside. Who is it? We're closed. Grandpa Jerry, it's me, Xiao Yi. I need to pick something up. Footsteps grew louder, and the door creaked open, revealing an old face. Xiao Qiu. What are you doing here so late? Why aren't you at the academy? Come on in. Sorry, Grandpa Jerry, but I was hoping I could crash here for the night. Qiu apologized. No problem, your work's great. Since you started helping me, business has been way better. It's the least I can do. Of course you can stay. Grandpa Jerry yawned, told Qiu to go to his usual workspace for the night, and left. He trusted Qiu's character and wasn't worried about him stealing anything. The workspace had a table and a small bed, perfect for a night's rest. He lit a candle, making sure it was far from the table. He didn't want to blow himself up with the gunpowder he'd be taking from the drawer. He wasn't keen on dying again. He quickly prepared everything, placed it by the bed, blew out the candle, and climbed into bed. Before drifting off, he thought about how to get revenge on Tang Hao. He couldn't beat the guy now, but Qiu could find other ways to get back at him. If both father and son wanted to take Xiao Wu away from him, then he. Tang San's blue-silver grass spirit suddenly flashed in Qiu's mind. That's right, the blue-silver emperor. Tang Hao, don't blame me. You asked for this. After the blue-silver emperor sacrificed herself, she left a seed, which Tang Hao planted near Holy Soul Village. Qiu was sure that if he could find Holy Soul Village, he could easily locate the cave using his clairvoyance. Tang Hao wanted to separate him and Xiao Wu, even wanted to kill him and steal Xiao Wu's soul ring, so Qiu had no choice but to repay him in kind. He'd dig up Tang Hao's wife, Tang San's mother, and make them his own. Thinking of this, Qiu's mood improved. He relaxed and quickly fell asleep. Meanwhile, back at Dormitory 7 in Nodding College, while Qiu slept, Xiao Wu was still awake, wrapped in Qiu's quilt, unable to sleep. Xiao Qiu, please come back safe. Tang San was also suffering from insomnia. To keep an eye on him, Yu Xiaojiang had him sleep beside him. He stared at the ceiling, his eyes full of longing, lost in his fantasies. Xiao Wu, Qiu's just a coward and a loser. I, Tang San, will make you happy. The moon, with its crescent grin, seemed to mock Tang San's wishful thinking. End of this chapter. Chapter 20 Soul Hunting Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ugh. Qiu sat up, feeling stiff. A good stretch brought a satisfying crackle. He grabbed the pack he'd readied last night. Tang Hao's kid had wrecked yesterday's plans, but no biggie. Today was a new day. Hey, Qiu. Where are you rushing off to so early? Grandma Tom, Jerry's wife, was making breakfast and called out as Qiu headed for the door, backpack slung over his shoulder. Gotta run. And I didn't keep your old man up last night, did I? Qiu always worried about the old woman's health, especially since he'd snacked so much while working. Nah, people sleep heavier when they're old. Good. Remembering Xiao Wu from Notting College, Qiu asked the old couple for paper and a pen to write a quick letter. He told Jerry that if he didn't return in 3 days, to deliver the letter to a student named Xiao Wu at Notting College. Xiao Wu. You mean that little pest who's always hanging around, interrupting your work? Qiu blushed at Grandma Tom's description of Xiao Wu, chuckling. Grandma Tom gave him a kind look. Don't worry, sweetie, we'll take care of it. She turned a sharp eye towards Grandpa Jerry, who was tending the fire. Right, Jerry? Yeah, sure thing. I'll deliver it. Jerry stammered, nodding frantically. The old couple's interaction warmed Qiu. Maybe this is what growing old together looked like. Thanks, Grandma Tom. Qiu bowed slightly, offering the letter. Grandma Tom nodded, impressed by his manners. Taking the letter, she gave Jerry a knowing look. Go on, get going. Qiu glanced at the pancake Jerry offered. His stomach rumbled in agreement as he reached the door. Grandma Tom called out, that little girl's got a soft spot for you, you know. Turning back, Qiu saw Grandma Tom smiling at her husband. Their eyes locked in a quiet exchange. A slow smile spread across Qiu's face. He opened the door and stepped out into the bustling crowd, his black robe blending into the shadows. Xiao Wu had a soft spot for him. He knew. He'd always known. He'd had the chance to pull her out of that situation from the start, but for his own selfish reasons, he brought her to Notting City. When did I fall for her? Was it that night? No matter, Xiao Wu's waiting. Gotta work harder. His steps were quick and determined. He'd made the mistake, so he'd fix it. The Hunting Soul Forest near Notting City was where the Heaven Do Empire bred spirit beasts in captivity. Mostly low-level stuff, but perfect for Qiu right now. This place was just right. The Empire's army and the Spirit Hall's forces jointly managed the forest, with Imperial Guards and Spirit Hall soldiers patrolling the perimeter. Despite Qiu's black robe, his size and voice marked him as a kid. Nobody bothered him, though. When hunting souls, humans were often more dangerous than the beasts. The air buzzed with shouts. Check it out. 10-year-old herbivorous snake. Only 10 gold soul coins. Looking for a team, brother? Hyena mercenary group, best in the business. 50 gold soul coins to start, and you can pick from 10-year or even 100-year soul beasts. Soul beast meat for sale. Fresh killed by the Earth Leopard mercenary group, 300-year beast. 1 gold soul coin a pound. Don't miss out. Where there were people, there was noise. Ignoring the sales pitches, Qiu headed straight for the entrance. Hiring help? Not an option. What he planned was best done alone, and besides, he was broke. He handed his warrant to the guard. Remember. No slaughtering. Kill on sight if you're caught. Qiu nodded, tied his pack securely, and hurried inside. The trees grew thicker, and he felt eyes watching him. He found the sense of danger exciting. He was already looking forward to the Star Do Forest, the largest on the Douluo continent. The spirit beasts at the edge of the forest were low-level, some less than 10 years old. Suddenly, Qiu leaped into a tree, ripping off the blindfold covering his eyes. Under the dark hood, his eyes glowed with bloody light, red with a hint of purple. Sharingan. Activate. Images flashed through his mind as he scanned the jungle. While he focused his senses, a slender snake slithered down from a branch above. A 10-year-old green vine snake. Its venom caused paralysis and hallucinations. Nothing fatal, just a painful bite. Hissing, it inched towards Qiu's shoulder. A smile touched Qiu's lips. Target acquired. Hissed. The green vine snake opened its mouth, fangs bared, ready to strike Qiu's neck. 3-Tomo Sharingan really comes in handy. Yi Qiu spun around, the snake's eyes flickered with red, and it froze mid-strike. Yi Qiu extended his palm. As if charmed, the snake slithered into his hand and curled up there. Illusion. Works like a charm, that he forced the snake to bite its own tail, and it went limp. Trying to bite me, huh? Hope you get lucky this time. That he hung the snake on a branch and sped towards the spot he'd seen earlier. He was headed for a small canyon inhabited by a pack of violent apes. Violent apes were social creatures, mostly 100 years old. They were short-tempered and territorial, attacking intruders in swarms. They could even enter a berserk state in battle, boosting all their stats by 50%. The downside? They couldn't tell friend from foe. Since starting school, Yi Qiu hadn't practiced much. Lacking any martial skills, he was out of practice. This group of violent apes was the perfect whetstone, a little appetizer.